Hope we ever get out.
Hey, you subscribed. Does it feel good?
Hello, hello, hello. I know you're not used to us being on Thursday night, but here we are with a special. The first person we have here is UKNeil joining Doc Martin and I. Say hello, UK.
What's happening, everybody? Glad to be on here. Glad to be in good company.
Glad to have you.
Appreciate the show out and all.
Thank you, UK. Glad to have you. And the second person we have probably needs no introduction, but we'll introduce her anyway. It's Amy Wallace from good old England. And in case you don't know what Amy's about, we'll let her say hello, but we've got a short little clip for you. So how are you, Amy?
I'm great. Thank you, Phil. Really good. Lovely to see you again. And Denise. And, of course, UKNeil. Good friend. So it's fabulous to be on. Thank you so much for having me on.
Oh, no, thank you for joining us. And here is a little clip of our warrior over in London, and UK is a warrior as well. This is what brought Amy into infamy right here, I think. The moment that brought her into infamy, beside being arrested by the deep state several times. But we'll let Amy tell us about that. Here's the video. Oh, I gotta move. We're not used to having guests, so I gotta move the video over. Here we go.
Did it? That's a disgrace. I got the balloon, baby. It's going down, going down. Go get it. Hey, you better go check out. I think Donald Trump's balloon is not very well.
And in
Thug
case
life.
that's right, Thug Life. In case you didn't know, Amy is the one that popped that balloon over in, where was it, Amy? London?
It was in London. President Trump was visiting, and it was my birthday. So I was mortified at seeing that stupid thing flying around London, especially outside the House of Parliament. And when I heard that President Trump had to drive past it on his way to Downing Street, I thought, that's it. No, gotta go. So yeah, so my mission, which I have to say, I guess I accomplished my mission, was to end that little sucker's life. So what do you call it? Figuratively speaking, of course.
Well, figuratively speaking, I was cheering you on, honey. I was going, yay, Amy! Woohoo! Go, girl! Loved it.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, no, the only downfall, the sort of part that foiled me a little bit was obviously cutting my finger and needing 3 stitches because I couldn't pretend, I couldn't feign innocence when I had blood streaming from my finger for no particular reason. But anyway, no, it's the best 3 stitches I've ever had, I have to say. And yeah, no, it was surreal. And it was fun.
Well, then you went on the whirlwind tour. You were on with who? Owen Schroyer, right?
Alex Jones,
and Will Johnson too, right?
That's right. Yeah. Got to have a good old chat with them. So yeah, that was fantastic.
What was it like getting to meet him or them?
Well, I said it was quite surreal to be talking to Alex Jones. I can't say I ever thought I was going to, ever have the opportunity to be talking to him. So yeah, that was amazing. Actually, I have to say, it was very easy to talk to. Yeah, and Owen Schroyer was lovely. You know, they're all really good. They're all great patriots, and yeah, it was fantastic. So
now I think Doc Martin and I remember watching you when you were just a laptop with a Trump flag on Periscope doing your nightly readings. Yeah, remember
reading
that,
your books?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Yes, the Periscope, the story time. Yeah, those were the days, weren't they? Innocent.
I'm saying, doesn't it seem like it's already been a lifetime ago? I mean, the speed of Trump in this world it seems like it has revved our world up exponentially.
It's a whole different world. It's a whole new world. I mean, it really is quite. It is surreal. I mean, just to think of what's happened since he announced he was running. Well, you couldn't write a script, I don't think. You couldn't write a script. We're in a movie. We are actually in a real-time movie being played out. Thriller, comedy, horror. You know, it's all, every single one is covered in what is going on all around us. The whole science fiction, George Orwellian stuff of the 5G things coming. I mean, it's just, because of course, those of us who are aware of Q and all that's going on behind the scenes, the real news, the actual facts of what Donald Trump is about, what an incredible, what amazing achievements he's had against all the odds.
Against all odds.
And
I remember back before he got elected, And, you know, well, really, even before he announced he was running back in the Obama days. And I remember thinking, you know, we can't really ever, I mean, I didn't think they would ever really allow him to get elected. I didn't think there was a way he could overcome their machinations. And I have to pinch myself some days just to know that, you know, we don't lose all the time. We do so much winning and it feels wonderful, but it feels surreal at the same time, even now. And we're already fixing to start his second term.
Now I've got to ask. Oh, I'm sorry, Amy. Go ahead.
No, sorry. I was terrified. You know, as soon as he said he was going to run, and then when I realized what they were up to, because of course, you know, we've been seeing those who've been following WikiLeaks know what they were up to, and I was absolutely just, as it got closer and closer to the election, I genuinely was terrified that they were going to take him out. I absolutely thought that was going to happen, and right up. Well, I don't know. I still don't feel comfortable. I mean, even though I feel much more secure and know that he's got a cloak of protection around him, there's nothing that wouldn't stop them from doing everything they could to take him from it. And I just can't imagine it. I cannot imagine it. So until the hammer falls and they start being publicly rounded up properly, I'm not going to feel. I can't relax at all. It's just weird. I don't know about you guys.
I lived in fear of them assassinating him. I still do. I pray over him every day. But I you know, as a Christian person, I think that we just have to be reminded that until God's mission for him is fulfilled, he's untouchable. You know, the day that it's okay, that his mission, his part of the mission, I think, is fulfilled, that to me seems like the time that we would really need to be worried. But you know, God's timing isn't always ours, so you just.
I see. That's what I'm gonna. That's what I'm gonna relax. Is when I feel he's, you know, when he's actually drained, when the plug hole is fully opened and it's draining and before our very eyes, is when I feel I can start to relax, because nothing will stop it. I mean, I hate to say it, I cannot. There's this probably the Scottish blood in my veins that makes me feel a wee bit pessimistic. I'm still. It's always the sort of pond, the rippling in the pond, and I feel that he's rippled the pond. I just don't want it to settle again. I want it to actually just never stop rippling until they get out. Because what I mean by that is that the deep state, the whole Bilderberg, the whole machinations, the whole dark side of the world are still in control of the narrative. There's a huge number of people out there who still have no idea, a huge number who just don't know what they're doing and what he's about. This whole fake demic. I mean, I feel like I get in the Truman Show, where I know that this isn't, actually no, the Truman Show, he didn't realize he was on in a show. He found out at the end that he was actually in a show, but it does really feel as though, you know, I can see what is happening, and everybody around me is completely, they've swallowed the whole story. Never seems to, it doesn't seem to matter what facts come out. They come out with the detail. The truth comes out of them all the time. They always say, well, no, it's probably not going to be any worse than the seasonal flu, but we're still locked down. So wait a minute, did we lock down for the seasonal flu? No, but they're still. And when that John Roberts, that hot mic a couple of days ago, when he was heard and he's told the guy to take his mask off because actually it's not as bad.
Well, now, he said we've all been vaccinated anyway, and he said people, that was just humor. I don't believe him.
No, John Roberts was serious. The guy who said we've all been vaccinated was the cameraman.
Oh, okay.
But yesterday there was still all the. If you notice in the briefing, they're all the camera people, the photographers, and they're wearing masks. So it's obviously a union thing that the diktat has come from the union to say you wear masks until we say no. But anyway, so there's John Roberts coming in saying don't need the mask, and that's from one of his colleagues, and gave out the facts and the 0.1%, and they're still wearing their bloody masks and still carrying on with the narrative. That's the sort of weirdness of it all. So
it is.
I think the thing was, though, like, obviously back in 2016 there was two major events. Now what you got to think here is that cabal were quite happily going along, taking over the world, controlling people's lives, installing their vaccines, generally running with their power grabs to make money for not just themselves, but obviously the bloodline families. And there was two major events in 2016 that kind of put shockwaves up their backside, so to speak, and that was the election of Donald Trump and Brexit. I mean, those two events, there's been smaller events afterwards, Salvini, etc., but those two events rocketed the cabal. And what we've seen since 2016 is the cabal trying everything to overturn those two major events. Whether it's the deep state in the USA trying to get a POTUS 45, or whether it's the British establishment trying to stop Brexit with everything they can. And this pandemic thing is just another scenario of them trying to turn over those two events in 2016. And it's no coincidence. Here we are in 2020. And those two events from 2016 and are both those events that are pushing for this new world, so to speak, away from the cabal. And they're doing everything they can to stop it, even if that means taking lives via this so-called virus as such.
Well, they have actually succeeded in cancelling out Brexit pretty much, because the whole narrative is coming from the World Health Organization and the deep state. I mean, they're completely. There's no. Oh, hang on, you lost me.
Oh, we can still hear you.
Sorry, I don't know what's happened there. I seem to have. You still? Am I okay? Still here? Okay, sorry. All right. So no, I'm saying we have, since we apparently left on the 31st of January. Within this couple of months, Brexit's cancelled completely, because our lot are not actually running anything. I mean, they've even withdrawn the immigration stipulations perhaps today. They just talked about just cancelling the points-based system that Brexit, the deal had. So at the moment, if we go by who's running the show, obviously the deep state are running the show, and the globalists, they've had to accelerate everything because of what Donald Trump has done, the president and the cute patriot, everything, and the other pro, like Putin. I mean, he's part of the cleanup. I absolutely feel convinced that he's an ally, but a good ally. Not oh God, the whole collusion delusion, which is ironic because obviously there was no collusion in that sense. But I do believe they're probably working together to clean up the dark side, bizarrely, right? So we're in this sort of surreal parallel universe. That's what we're living. Patriots, QAnons, the Brexiteers, we are, and populists. We are living the dream as far as what we're seeing President Trump achieve, with just incredible prowess and, oh my God, just amazing what he's doing and has been doing. And even, I mean, this is my thing. I force myself, because I say I've got Scottish blood running through my veins. So I've got this, oh dear, oh no, it's all so dark, awful, evil world. My grandparents were so miserable. Bless them. But Scottish.
Amy Wallace.
And, but so, part of me is like, I mean, I can't help thinking, oh my God, this is not good. But then I have to remind myself that I know that President Trump, with the globalist plan, they obviously advertised what they were going to do with the Bilderbergs. They talk about it every time they meet. They're always stating what their aims are. They don't hide it, because they've managed to propagandize Project Mockingbird, the populace, the majority, through this whole neuro-linguistic programming, all their plans absolutely going like a dream, quite frankly. And the fact that Donald Trump has come in and completely pretty much smashed it to smithereens, they've accelerated, I think. I think they've accelerated their plans. They've gone ahead of time. They haven't quite got where they wanted to. But it's this is what unnerves me, is that if President Trump, I can't even think, if it wasn't going how we were, if we were living if everything is as it is going on around us, even though we know it's complete facade, we're in deep doo-doo. I mean, serious. The satellites going up, the 5G's going up, the population control, the withdrawal, the complete loss of our democratic right have completely gone out the window. And never in my wildest nightmares did I ever imagine it would happen so smoothly for them, without even a squeak, a protest. Everybody's just docilely gone into house arrest, pretty much. I mean, in this country anyway. I see in America, thank God. I mean, in America, there's glimmers of the patriots and the, I don't know.
After weeks already in the house, they also, in the name of saving our elderly and people at risk, docilely went into our homes. It's only after we've been here for 4 to 6 weeks that we're starting to, realize they duped us with lies and stats that don't even exist. And that's where it's gonna turn people. I have loved Governor Abbott, and I know that I have a friend in particular who has said that he didn't really care for Governor Abbott, and I couldn't understand why, because I kept going, he's such a patriot, such a great guy. And it kind of put me on guard. I watched him. I've been watching everything he does just because my friend's got this feeling. And I will say, I'm not happy with the way he's handled this. Number one, he acted like a dim and shut us up in our houses. And now he's saying that, Dan Patrick is the one, our Attorney General, that has been, or not Attorney General, anyway, he's the one that's been saying we need to open Texas up sooner. We're the 10th largest economy in the world, and you're sitting on your butts while it goes to pot. And Abbott is going, well, this is what's really was a turnoff for me. His reply to that was, as I watched my business go of 21 years go down the tubes, his reply is, we're going to do it, but we're going to do it safely, and nobody is going to be able to hurry me. In other words, kiss my ass. And I am livid. That is my freaking business that he is endangering. We have put our blood, sweat, and tears into it for 21 freaking years. And he's telling me to stand down in my house and let him take the very livelihood that I've killed myself to establish. You can kiss my grits, Governor Abbott. I don't like you anymore.
I did try.
I'm just saying, if they think I'm going to lay down and let them strip me of everything I've ever built and the very means to take care of my family, they can kiss my ever-loving grits.
Guess what, Doc? Hey,
I'm
Doc.
going to a rally on Saturday. I'm just saying.
Doc, New York State's got you beat because Cuomo said today he doesn't really care. He flat out told you, if you're not essential and you're losing your business, well, go get an essential job. That's what he said.
Getting their paychecks, right? All the ones in the politicians, they're all getting their paychecks like normal. So
yeah,
they don't care, right?
So is Abbott that's telling me that he's going to take his good sweet time and there is nothing I can do about it. Well, you know what? I don't like that response from somebody I hired. You don't ever, ever, ever tell your boss or your customer that you'll do it when you get ready.
Yeah.
That isn't saying, gee, I'll take into consideration and talk to the strategic task force he's putting charge of this, including what's his head, and Mark Cuban, and he's on the president, and he was saying today that he doesn't think Texas is ready to go back to work. Well, you know what? He's misread us as badly as he has his basketball team. Because I'll tell you where that's coming from. He's in cahoots with China with the NBA. Why would you ever put such a fool, somebody that talks out his butt half the time, on the presidential commission to putting America back to work? And then, I'm sorry, Governor Abbott, that response isn't good enough for somebody that voted for you. I hired you. Don't ever freaking make the mistake of telling me you'll get to it when you're ready. That's the last nerve. If he keeps this up, I will not be voting for him again. I don't care how good of a governor he is overall. It ain't going to happen.
Well, is he a rhino or is he I don't
know. Every intimation has been that he's truly a very conservative Republican. But I will say that this friend of mine has talked with people that are in the border guard, and they said that he pays good lip, but that he had never come down there to the border to see them, never come down there to see what they were doing, never went out of his way. Now, I do understand that he has some issues because he's handicapped. However, I think Texas can afford to get him down to the border comfortably with no problems. I don't think that him being in a wheelchair would stop that.
No, that wouldn't stop
that. If that's not the case, why has he not?
Well,
this is the thing that's going on with the whole setup with the USA reopening, because I think we can all figure out what the whole plan was behind the virus was to get the economy to affect Trump for 2020. Trump said himself, they were breaking records left, right, and center with the economy. Along comes this mysterious virus from Wuhan, which we all know has been planned. Now we have Trump sitting there on the podium every night saying, right, open America, open America. He's putting it in the hands of the governors. The governors are like, hell no, because they're not loyal to him. And this is what we're seeing. But the smart part here with Trump is when they're sitting there saying, hell no, we're not going to open. Well, as Dr. Martin's saying there, well, they're just going to retaliate and hit him in the voting booth. So the actual plan here is kind of working out, because what's going to happen is all these governors that are going against Trump reopening their country will come November, the whole country is just going to turn pure red. So, they
that's what I'm making on. But the problem is by November, I'll be unemployed. I can't wait that long. I can't even wait until, now they're saying, May 1st or 15th of May. Well, the problem is it isn't me. It's all of my people, all of my customers that aren't going to have jobs to go back to by then. Are you
not getting help?
He doesn't act like he has any sense of urgency other than the care for the people. Well, get some real facts before you make that decision. Keep telling me that you're open to looking at the facts. Don't tell me that you won't be hurried. Like it's don't bother me. Don't harass me if you think differently. I want somebody in that office that's going to listen to me as their constituent.
Well, listen, Denise, you've got to remember this, right? I mean, they are swamp creatures. He's got to be one of the swamp creatures. So he's just going to pay lip service to whoever. So
if he does, then I'm going to pay him voting service at the ballot box.
Well, the thing is, as well, I do believe. Obviously, here's the thing: we're looking at this in the sort of long term, as if this is good, because we were told today or yesterday that this is going to go on till next year. This whole self-isolation.
I don't believe that, though. Do you?
Distancing, but only if it was a deep state plan. Then obviously, because their plan is to crash the economy and have everybody on the state.
Yeah, we've got the silver bullet.
But of course, we know that there's another plan that is in motion, and that it will be. I mean, I know that not concern. Obviously, President Trump said everybody be in church by Christmas. I mean, by Easter. Sorry, not Christmas. Easter. The churches would be full and everybody would be together. Now, I've got to say, I understand that maybe the plan hasn't quite gone to, well, obviously it didn't go to plan because you're still not going to church. But with all the noise that we're hearing on the Q side, all the messages, and with everything coming out and the way that everybody's behaving with the adrenochrome nightmare, everybody is coming unhinged. It has to be imminent. And so, of course, this thing's going to vanish, as President Trump said, because once the truth comes out, here's the thing. We already know, we now are seeing all the connections with the World Health Organization, with China, and with the Gates and all of them. They're all behind Obama. It came out the other day, obviously, that the NIH funded this Wuhan lab for the virus, the chimera thing of the virus to make it, to modify it into. I remember when it first came out, and they talked about it being a sort of a very powerful, a terribly fatal thing that had to do with, and they mentioned HIV. I distinctly remember them mentioning HIV. So they
real quick, Amy, I just want to jump in there. Did Britain also help fund that Wuhan lab like the United States did? I know we gave $13.7 million or something like that.
3.7 it was for the Wuhan lab that's come out. But
did Britain do the same?
Sorry?
Did Britain do the same as we did? Help fund that lab?
I would imagine the establishment would have done.
Okay.
I would imagine if somebody dug deep, the British establishment are in the same.
Hasn't come out yet.
So
that's not come out yet.
Nothing's been released.
But the connection, we see how I said 3.7 million. I'm sure, but then that was in 2014. So you can imagine, obviously, the payments kept going. It wasn't just a one-off payment. It's been going on until this thing happened. But so it won't surprise me. I mean, everything is connected. World Health Organization, the UN, anything that's a global organization, it's all connected to the One World Order plan. So I haven't heard that Britain gave any money to that yet, but
well, it would have been the EU because you guys were still in the EU at the time, right?
They probably did. I don't know how, but I wouldn't be surprised to find it out. Would you, Amy? Or
No, I wouldn't be surprised at all. But here's the thing, right? Remember, so we're looking. It's very difficult to detach, but what I'm holding on to, and it makes sense with what we all know, that this is a hoax-demic. I mean, and what I'm saying is there's more and more evidence leaking out, and they're only going to be able to keep a lid on some of the stories for so long, but it's actually flooding out now with these connections. And when the truth out, everybody's going to know that they've been had. And so within a short time, everybody's got to go back to normal. There's only so much time. We are social beings. We are social beings and have been working forever. And, that's normal. Sitting at home and not working is just not something that can only go on for so long. And then people want to get busy again.
I just want to know if we get a chance to change the people that we're quarantining with. Sorry, no, I'm teasing. With my husband at home, my child at home, and me at home, I felt like my kitchen's been open 24/7, number one. And then on top of that, my dishwasher died, y'all. So you can guess who the new dishwasher is. I'm just saying. Yeah. I'm telling you, I was going strike already. And it's been a very short amount of time. And I'm going, I called the repairman. Aren't you going to come? I don't have the woohoo. I don't care if you can socially distance yourself all you want and come in and fix my dishwasher. But
I'll tell you what,
whether the government allows me to get my dishwasher fixed. How asinine does that sound?
I tell you what, though, I found the whole Harvard thing interesting last night, because now Harvard has now got federal funding cut. Now, for those that know the info behind Harvard with regards to this pandemic, there was a professor and two members of the Chinese Communist Party that were working in Harvard and via DOJ were brought up on charges because they were basically working with the Chinese Communist Party. And there was a Q drop with files on it stating back in 2007 that this professor and these two members of the Chinese Communist Party were working in cahoots with each other and working with the Wuhan lab via Harvard. So I kind of found that interesting last night, that all of a sudden, thanks to Trump, Harvard's no longer getting federal funding, and yet there's a connection there between Harvard and China.
And not only that, Neil, actually there's more. Number one, they responded very cheekily, snottily, if you ask me, would be a better term, to our wonderful POTUS. When he asked for he referred to it as the PPP loan. And they so snottily pointed out that they didn't get it through the PPP loan. They got it through the CARES Act for higher education. But they have the largest endowment in the nation, probably in the world, one of them in the world. I don't think it's only 40 billion that they're sitting on. Actually, if you go back in the treasure trust in their books, they've got more than that. They've got enough that they can educate every kid in the United States several times over. I read a really interesting article about how many people they could end up really educating off of that. But where do you think that they've gotten those billions? It's from the establishment. It's from the deep state people, the people that we know now. And it isn't just limited to Harvard, though. I also have read several other articles that there's going to come to light more than just this professor. Also, if you look, second point, the professor that did this was specializing in how to increase the rapidity of the spread of a pandemic or a virus like COVID. So who do you think they've had working on it? Plus, people don't realize all of these professors at all these different colleges, it isn't just Harvard. Right up here up the road in Texas, one of the most prestigious, supposedly prestigious, of course it's not my alma mater, so I would disagree with them, but one of the most prestigious universities in Texas is the University of A&M. They found over 100 professors, not even taking into account yet the actual staff of the college or the university, but they found over 100 professors that were taking monies inappropriately from the Chinese. That's in Texas. Think about, the whole nation overall, how deeply they have embedded themselves. And think about the people in our community governments, in our city governments, in our state governments that they probably have their hand in that we don't even know about yet.
Well, look at Feinstein. She had wasn't her chauffeur
off the lid. Huh?
Wasn't Feinstein chauffeur? Isn't he Chinese?
Yeah,
20 years.
I mean, that's still
never been addressed. They just slapped her on the hand and said, "Oh, by the way, your driver of 20 years that represented you when you didn't want to go to small business meetings."
Also with Harvard, do we remember the secret society, the elitist secret society that's connected to Harvard, Skull and Bones?
Exactly.
Skull and Bones, yep.
Exactly what I was pointing out.
That's on the WikiLeaks, by the way.
If you go back and you really do deep dives in Harvard, Harvard is actually very suspect.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what? I read the on the WikiLeaks dump, by the way, everybody, I don't know who's listening, just to let you know that WikiLeaks has just released everything in one. Who's that with the wall?
That's the DLive notifications. They're all Trump notifications. So sorry, Amy.
Yes, I thought, my God, where's the wall? Where's the wall?
It's coming.
I forgot what I said. Oh, the WikiLeaks. Yeah, they did. They released everything they had. What's it called? Info is in one go, and in actual fact, I do believe the initiation. The initiation ceremony, the initiation thing for the Skull and Bones. I'm sure it's for the Skull and Bones. Is on there, and I have to tell you, it's quite lame. There's no. I thought there was going to be something really sinister, but it's actually very Well, I don't know if that's true, but I'm sure that's the one, Skull and Bones. And the first question is if they believe in God. And if the answer is yes, that's fine. But if the answer is no, then they
Thank
just
you very
get
much.
asked to leave. So I'm sure that's on the WikiLeaks. But it's just asked about that. I said on my YouTube and the D Live tonight, I'm assigning everybody homework is just to I've put the link in the chats and have at it, because there's just a ridiculous amount of info, intel of everything that, well, WikiLeaks got their hand on. And the more eyes, the better to get the, it's just going to be, oh my God.
Was that recent? That was just released, Amy?
Yesterday, last night.
So how did that get released? Because my understanding from what I've read was that that there was question about the people that were running WikiLeaks in his absence about whether they were truly patriots or not. So does that mean they are? Who released them exactly? Was it under duress, or did they do it freely?
I
Are
don't
they
know.
do you believe that they're trying to protect him?
I think when it comes to WikiLeaks, there's a lot of hearsay between whether they were loyal to Assange, not loyal to Assange. There's this dripping out, there's that dripping out. So I think to be honest, I think WikiLeaks are on the same wavelength with Assange. You know, it's his company as such. You know, so I think WikiLeaks still work with Assange altogether.
Actually, until he went to Belmarsh, they were still releasing stuff all throughout under his direction. And I know that he had I'm sure was it called a kill switch or something? A
dead man switch. Dead man switch.
A dead man switch.
Yeah. And I think that well, I'm hoping he's not dead. I hope nothing's happened to him. But it's they've literally dumped the whole everything.
The whole kit and caboodle.
I put the link in. Can you put the link in the chat? The vault, the whole thing, everything.
Wow.
Yes. Emails, the whole thing with everything that you can imagine that they've got their hands on. They've released everything in one go, all of it.
You got to imagine if they've dropped that lot, then and surely Barr and Durham will be looking at this as well.
Well, everybody.
You know it, but I wonder if that hastens their plans or changes their plans in any way. It's too late for it to do much, because I think a lot of it's already gone to grand juries, and I think there's plans and all that stuff in play. But it makes you wonder if it was part of their plan to release it at this point. Nothing seems to have preempted that. I wonder what caused them to dump the whole thing.
We're in a pandemic right now, in case you haven't noticed, the global lockdown, and they're just determined to, fake news media is on overdrive. I mean, if you listen to people, you talk to people in this country about Donald Trump, and obviously the patriots are switched on to him. And there's even been a few people who have never really, followed anything, but they're hearing stuff they have heard about how well he's doing. And so there's people who are ambivalent, I suppose, and then obviously the haters and the people who aren't paying attention but are just getting their feed from the fake stream, lamestream media, who think that he's a misogynistic, racist, xenophobic idiot. That's what you still get after all this time. So, oh my God! So
you cannot have opened a book or read anything about him and still really believe that. But as a Q reader, since we've talked about that, he has said that they have him under protection, and I really, really, really hope and pray that that's true. As we were talking about before the show, I was shocked to know that little booger hadn't been just sitting too idle in that embassy. He had 2 babies with a woman, and they're looking forward to getting hitched after all this is over and done with, she said. So, I'm glad he's been able to find some happiness somewhere.
Here's one good thing about Amy. Here's one good thing about the quarantine, though. The release of WikiLeaks now allows people to actually look at them, right?
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna. The Great Awakening. Yeah. We are in the eye of the storm, and I think this is part of the plan: is to release all the information before the internet gets shut down, because the Congress, they want to just cut us all off. So I think it's sort of, this is part of the I think it's part of the timing is to release it all now and get everybody sort of tuned in, as because what's going to happen, obviously, is those of us who are going to be looking through all this stuff and talking about it
Have time to do it now, don't we?
Yeah.
well, and it's red pilling. I mean, you cannot.
Hey, you subscribed. Does it feel good?
Thank you for the subscription.
You can't argue with cold hard facts. I mean, and it's there. You know, the information is there, and so I think this is part of the Great Awakening. This is part of the darkness to light. The information is going to be released to everybody. Remember, they said that, right? They've said the Q, the messages.
I just thought it would be a time where they would get more eyeballs on it. But really, to be honest with you, I don't know if there'd ever be a time that the media would play that up because it's to their disadvantage. So
correct.
You've got a very good point there.
I think what we're seeing, though, at this point of time, I think we're seeing everything come together, whether it be Q, whether it be like this drop from WikiLeaks, whether it be Durham, whether it be the DOJ, whether it be the fact that Boris has suddenly disappeared. I think what we're seeing is, you know, as Amy says, we're in the storm now. And I think the storm is whipping up like anything at the moment. And that's not to say next week we might see somebody arrested or not. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is there is like a cauldron bubbling right now of so many things. And I think maybe soon we're going to see everything come to a big build up and just see it all explode. I think we're going to see something very big soon. I just get that with everything going on.
You know, the crescendo is so, people's nerves are so so tightly wound. It ain't going to take much to set off civil unrest here in America. I'm just telling you, some of these governors need to be taking notice. That they've got that bow just as taut as it can be, and you know, sneering at people worried about making a living is not a good response. That does not take it down a notch.
They don't. Here's what you got to understand: is that there's a bubble, and they still are in their bubble. Look at Pelosi sitting there in front of her massive blooming $24,000 freezers and pointing out her luxurious ice cream to the world, and gloating over it. And you know, it's that whoever did the meme, it was Nancy Antoinette or whatever it was called. You know, let them eat cake, let them eat ice cream. I mean, really, she's so completely detached, and so are. You have to. That's the thing. They are on the wavelength. Is we're literally like this, you know, the parallel universe. These people in power have been in their little universe and in their bubble of
every tower that they built for themselves on our money, on our dime. That's where they've been, and their heads are in the clouds. And she couldn't have been more tone deaf. She couldn't have shown her ass any better. I love it. I was sitting there going, well, let me go get some ice cream. I don't have any of your kind, but I got some good kind, because I was going to celebrate her showing her butt before the whole world. Every time they get up there, that's all they're doing nowadays.
I can't afford her kind, number one, but on a previous show, I can't afford $12 a pint ice cream. Sorry, just can't do it. But on a previous show, I brought this point up. You've got governors acting like dictators, right?
That's right.
And here's the irony. If you go to Twitter, there are leftists applauding them, the dictatorship in their state. They love it. They think it's awesome. Who was called a dictator for 3.5 years and literally Hitler, right? Now they're applauding governors doing exactly what they complained about for 3.5 years. I don't get it. It's laughable.
Well, you know, at first it was, oh, gee, Trump is going to shut us down. Yep. He's going to be a dictator and everything. And now they're pleading for him to keep us shut down. I mean,
they keep on feeding it to him. I mean, yesterday they tried it again with this. Why don't you use your power to order this to happen? Yes. I mean, they want him to, they are desperate for him to do it so that then they can say, see, we told you he's a dictator. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's their try. And he said, no, I don't think so. I'm just going to leave it to the governor. He's just playing them like a fiddle. And it is just delicious to watch. I mean, I have to say, it is.
Even being, what has amazed me is being a patriot. it doesn't matter which side of the fight you're on. I would think as a educated, thinking, sentient human being that you would all take into account what's going on as you formulate your battle plan, and that as you're in the fray, you adjust accordingly. And
Who are you
it's
talking about?
weird because they don't seem like they've got the agility or the ability to change their battle plan at all. They're so inflexible. Whether in part of that is because all of their deep state people that they had put into, high places to protect themselves, they've got all that protection is gone now, because Trump has been replacing everybody in the government that were holdovers. But what has astonished me is that for people that are claiming such arrogance over everybody else in the world that they know so much better, they sure haven't known very much because they've been so inflexible. They have been so rigid in their playbook in fighting this war, in that they just keep letting Trump play them over and over. If they just read The Art of War or any of that, they would have known where he's coming from. It would be so much simpler.
They're Saul Alinskyites, so they're completely. Here's the thing: they do not have the cognitive ability to think laterally. They are tunnel vision, and they've been getting away with what they've been getting with for decades.
That's where it is right there. That's the crux of the problem right there, Amy. They were used to getting away with it. That's the only thing that can explain that they haven't been able to change their gears. They can't quite get over how to deal with this man. Why isn't he crumbling? Why isn't he, acting like everybody else and doing what we say? Why has he gotten more popular or more powerful? That's what has really kind of surprised me, because
you don't ask those questions
on the line, I'd be a little bit more agile in my warfare. I would like to be.
I think what we're seeing though is what this is coming down to really is the people versus the cabal, and the person leading the people is POTUS 45 predominantly. Boris is whatever he's doing, but I think the predominant leader of the free world fighting for the people against the cabal, and not just the good people of the USA, but we're talking worldwide here, because worldwide he's an inspiration to everybody in rising up and fighting against the cabal and the mainstream media and so forth. Yeah. So I think what we're seeing here predominantly is the battle between the people and the cabal. And the cabal are doing everything they can to topple the people, even if that means locking them in their houses with a pandemic.
Well, here's the thing: is that they had the most powerful weapon to use, which is fear and guilt. Those are very, very powerful psychological weapons. They know it, and so in the guise of this we want to protect you. We know what's best, and we're going by the experts. There's a lot of people who just are used to being told what to do. And in a way, it's a sort of, I don't know, they feel a bit secure with somebody else saying what to do.
It's what they've known. Haven't you ever seen that? What it keeps mind to is, have you ever read that? I don't know what you'd call it, an article or a saying or whatever, but they talk about if you get an elephant when he's very, very young and small, they can tie him to a tree, a small tree, and he doesn't have the strength to pull away or pull the tree out of the ground. And so by the time he gets to be older and bigger and has the ability to do it, to pull the tree out of the ground if he wanted to, he's psychologically bound and doesn't know he can, and stays docilely on this little bitty twig of a tree, an elephant tied up to it. And that's the same way they've done us. But what they didn't count on was that we, the patriots, became awoke, and that has just been their undoing. But I marvel that they keep getting their butts handed to them on a silver platter, and nobody has been more agile about trying to come up with a new game plan, or show that they have any agility in changing their battle plans. To me,
Well, I don't know.
that is
I mean, they don't. I don't know what battle plan you think that they would do.
I'm not sure, but I'd be trying to look for something instead of just doing the same old crap that makes me look
Oh.
like an ass on public TV.
Well,
But
but
they
they don't see themselves as that because they're public TV. They're being lauded and praised. They still have the control of the media, the swamp, the
and
fake
they
news.
all live in Washington D.C. in that bubble.
Yeah, they're in their own bubble, literally, and they don't see the little people. We're just minions. We're nothing. We're just
That's right.
little ants going around, and they're not bothered. I mean, here's the thing. Remember, Bill Gates said in 2010 how to reduce the world's population. I mean, expendable. They don't relate to us little people at all. We're just totally insignificant, and so they don't have that mindset. It's not even there. It's not. It's. I hate to say it, right? But I mean, but it's true. It's almost like they're autistic, in that it's with autism, the person cannot help how they're thinking. There's just not the connections are missing from the wiring of the brain, and so they don't have that emotional connection. I think that's the swamp, is that whether it's through their dark side, the satanic stuff, all that Luciferian thing that just kills off a feeling, a sense. I don't know, because obviously it's completely foreign to. I have no idea how they can do any of that, and that they don't even see it. They don't relate, and it's the same worldwide. Anybody in positions of that power that they have been untouchable forever. I mean, let's just think about especially if you think about Pelosi and Schmuck Schmoomer and that, they have been in power for decades and have got away with everything, and they believe, because they're so arrogant and so out of touch, that they still think they have the upper hand. That's why they're still going ahead with the narrative with the wash your hands, everybody, and social distance.
For the NHS.
Wash the hands, self-isolate, testing. Oh my God, if I hear her voice one more time, I'm gonna slap her one. It's just, she's
talking of the Satanist ways that they have. Have you guys seen the advertisement for the World Health Organization concert with Lady Gaga?
Yes.
And Beyonce,
upside down crosses and everything.
All of them that are in that same lousy ring. It always boils down to all of those same nasty people. Absolutely.
It's the satanic Luciferian cult, and what it was, I say, I've learned an awful lot in a short space of time, and I learned much more than I ever wished I did. But the whole mindset of those evil people, the way that they, I mean, they have all the Disney stuff, everything's just completely destroyed for me now when I know that they're all to do with the whole cult.
We come up with new things even before the pandemic. My family had to come up with new things to do together as a family, because I can't even make myself go to a movie, because I just think about that I'm contributing to that and what I'm contributing to, and it ruins it for me. And that was always one of our favorite things to do, is just go see a movie and forget about things a little bit. But all you do is go through the movie looking for all of their manipulation.
Symbolism. Yeah, the symbol. And that's the thing. I think I mean, what's going to make it easier is that because of their sickness and all the rest of it, and part of the requirement is that they display their in front of everybody, they display their satanicness or whatever the hell with their, whatever. Except now I don't know how to do the OK sign, because I'm sure that President Trump's way of doing the OK sign is special, and it's not the, that side. But it's like every hand gesture you do now, it's like, okay, do I do one like this?
That lady that had her hands crossed over just so in the picture, so it made the pedophile sign. You should go, oh dear God. But
it's exposing. This is the thing, okay? And everybody says that he is. It's amazing. He is the words fail me, actually. The God Emperor. I called him the God Emperor from the start, not knowing that I actually really now think he is the God Emperor. And to see that he is they're just exposing themselves just effortlessly, and that's part of it. I mean, they can't help
They
revealing.
can help themselves. They really can. Is you look and you see all of the ones that you've been watching are the ones that do the weird videos and stuff. I did want to just quickly ask UKNeil.
Doc, can you hold that?
Kevin?
This is what a terrible host I am. I didn't ask them how long they can go. We're at the top of the hour. Can you guys go another hour or so?
I'm good.
I could probably do another half, if that's okay.
Okay.
I was going to say, I've only got about another half too. I've got a diabetic cat. I've got to go give shots to.
Okay.
Yes.
Can I give you guys a 5-minute break? We'll run a commercial ad, give you guys a 5-minute break to run and smoke or go to the bathroom, and then we'll come back. How about that?
Okay, great. Thank you, Phil.
Right.
Cool.
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
All right, guys, we'll be back in 5 minutes. So we'll play some commercials for you, and great discussion, by the way. Let me run a little commercials here. I stole something from Boogie Bumper, so why not?
Oh, he's always sweet to let us borrow things.
That's right. So,
Hey, Patriots, this is your favorite Doc Martin. I just wanted to remind you not to forget to catch me and your favorite ne'er-do-well Yankee, Phil D'Angelo, on Saturday nights, beginning with Promises Kept at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, followed by The Speakeasy at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, where all of your favorite Patriots will be cussing and discussing anything that comes to our minds.
that's right, Doc Martin, on Saturday night, and this is your favorite Yankee in the world, Phil D'Angelo talking. We could have Kimmy Wise Censored, or affectionately known as Electrolux, UKNeil, Rusty, and his sound test show, Stephen Sears, Grandma, the original, JP Earth Citizen, Coffee with Sandra, or practically anyone else in the world. Join us for some irrelevant fun.
Yankee, you mean irreverent fun on Twitch, Periscope, D-Live, or YouTube.
That's right, at winning_TV.
Don't forget to set your calendar. We'll leave the porch light on for you. Come back and see you here.
I still think it's irrelevant fun.
Do you like your novelty comedy songs organic? Handmade with painstaking care, put into every note? Well, look no further than Irrational Times. Using only the finest instruments to create an experience that your ears will thank you for later. Irrational Times attempts to elevate the whimsy to a desirable level. New songs and sketches every week, so check it out.
Idiot boogie bumper. Idiot boogie bumper. Idiot boogie bumper. Idiot boogie bumper. Idiot boogie. He's really giving that one a workout. Come on. dlive.tv/JJ Stoner. And we love JJ here on the show.
Hey, you subscribe.
It's the JJ Stoner
Does it
Spring
feel good?
Collection. The perfect attire for any and every occasion you can think of this season. Like we were in the mosh pit full of sweat and everyone's slapping, hitting, and pulling on you. This shit won't rip. Lunch at your favorite cafe? Brunch with the girls? These stylish ensembles will give you the confidence you need to look and feel your best. Or if you're getting arrested for possession, it comes with a built-in police stick-proof body armor. Keep swinging, pigs! Call now, and your order will come with a complimentary ounce of that dankest bubblegum slurricane that the South has to offer. Don't forget the wall tapestry. If you need to cover your wall, it works.
Hello, my name is Frozen Asian, and I'd like to tell you about my show, The Sunday Night Shit Show, every Sunday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Along with good conversations and laughing at funny and weird shit we find on the internet, we also have the Hat Cam, where I showcase my myriad of great-looking hats. Here is a testimonial from a great friend of mine who has enjoyed my hats lately.
I hope your next hat is a bullet. Jesus Christ, what are you, fucking Asian Dick Tracy? What's wrong with you? Why do you have to ruin my evening? Like, I was just gonna just listen to my buds do their show, and you just gotta do that. You without the hat.
So you're not enjoying it?
No!
Dude, Asian
come
Dick
on,
Tracy.
secretly you enjoy it.
You look
No.
like you're going undercover in Argentina, but it's not working.
I hate you. I hate you. And I
Oh,
hate
come
your
on, you
stupid
secretly love it.
hat. No, I openly hate it.
And there you have it. So subscribe to the Sunday Night Shit Show at youtube.com/Sunday Night Shit Show. And hope to see you there on Sunday nights. Bye.
Feeling depressed? Need someone to tell you it's not okay? Do you like goth public access TV? Then join me for The Big Empty every Sunday at noon. Major_Tom on D-Live, with zeros for O's, because everything in your life is that difficult.
There's a place that we can go to watch old things. All the warm, fuzzy member berries it brings. It's a special little spot tucked away on D-Live. Enjoy the joy of Pepsi. Campy old movies and old cartoons. We hope to see you over there very soon. It's our special little spot tucked away on D-Live. Enjoy the joy of Pepsi. When we were kids and there wasn't any school, we'd sit and watch all the best cartoons, eating cereal until it was noon. We never thought that 30 years later it'd still be cool. Saturday night and cheesy movies, the ones that used to show us movies. It's our special little spot tucked away on D-Live. Enjoy the joy of Pepsi. Enjoy the joy of Pepsi. Enjoy the joy of Pepsi.
God damn, I love that song.
This just in. The global officials that can help all,
Last
also known as
commercial.
Got You, have now banned all boogieing and boogie-related movements worldwide. Public safety.
But why are you farming for coins when you have a heavy bag?
Yeah. Oh, I just cut off the boogie ad. Can you believe it?
Did you see what our Renee said, Orange John? She said, "Can we pay extra for no ads?"
Oh, I'm sorry. We got to share out all the other
No,
shows.
JP, I cannot, but I'm waving back.
Here's the boogie promo. Sorry.
Idiot boogie bumper. 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 Idiot boogie bumper.
He's really giving that one a workout. Come on.
DLive.tv/JJ Stoner. And we love JJ here on the show.
Yes, make sure you follow Boogie Bumper. Sorry, cut his bump off. Okay, we're back.
It wasn't too painful.
No. And I see Amy got to go stretch her legs.
I did, yes. Thank you. Thank you for that. I
Well,
was
great-
on a bit earlier as well, so
Getting a little stir crazy. I start losing the feeling in the bottom of my legs about hour 4 or 5.
That's because your legs are 2 feet off the chair.
can't.
Your legs are 2 feet off the floor, Doc, when you're sitting in a chair.
I can't help it. Don't be show off.
so actually, you know what? I haven't asked you guys. What do you think of what do you think of what it is? It, the CV-19. What is your take on? Do you think there's something? Do you think it's nothing? Do you think it's the psyop? Do you think? I mean, I know we know about the Wuhan lab and the attempted creations of virulent viruses, man-made. But what do you think?
My opinion is that the disease is real. To the extent of how deadly it is, I don't think we're going to know, because I think, to be honest with you, I think it's already gone through the United States once during flu season. So, and they're finding out with testing in California that hundreds of thousands of people have already had it and didn't even know.
You know why that is?
So,
You know why? Do you know why that is?
All the Chinese people out in California, they all came.
No. It's from the. It's because if you have have had a flu vaccination, you'll come up positive, because the CV test. The test for it is nothing other than if you've produced those exosomes, your body, to fight off the toxins to do with lung issue. You know, if you've had an infection, or so the CV19, there isn't actually a test isolating what they're talking about, but it's intentionally. I don't know if have you seen Andrew Kaufman or Kaufman, Kaufman. He did a whole incredible explanation about it all, and saying that our bodies produce the cells. A virus is actually a good thing. A virus is what our bodies produce in order to fight the toxins that it has to deal with. So whatever it is, whether it's to do with pollution, or to do with the whichever kind of pollution, whether it's from traffic or whether it's electrical pollution, the waves, or whether it's even our bodies even produce these things through fear. If you're fearful, that's the whole one of the weapons they're using, is to create this fear, which makes your body go into this mode of fighting, and it will produce the same things. I mean, not that I'm saying, I mean, there is obviously, look, here's the thing. Again, my gauge is President Trump, and knowing that he's a germaphobe, if there really was this deadly virus going around, he would be in a isolated area, because he's a germaphobe. Yeah. He wouldn't have people standing around him, regardless of whether they've been tested. I mean.
Well, I think it was more. I took it as more that he knew that there was help available. If you get my drift.
Well, the hydrochloroquine is obviously, that's to do with your immune system, and so the hydrochloroquine and the vitamin C. And if you hear about all the fixes, it's all to do with things that would help the cells the immune system. That's what it's about.
Mm-hmm.
And
but even further to your point, a while ago, I've read it. I want to say from two different sources, but I'll work to confirm it. I don't normally try to bring things up unless I've read it from more than one source. But my understanding was that some of those early CDC tests were not only as you described, but they were actually tainted with the Wuhan virus, and gave it to you when you got. If you didn't already have it, you got it.
You test positive.
Mm-hmm.
But
we test positive anyway.
In the end, it's the same result. If you get the flu, right, and you have a compromised immune system, or you have health issues, you are going to get sick, right? Very sick. It may end up in the hospital.
This is proving to be pneumonia. Less deadly. Yeah. This is proving less with the figures. Yeah. The elderly who have usually, depending on what your lifestyle's been like, have obviously got more compromised systems, and so and the whole thing. If you think about, remember, they haven't been talking about the ages for a long time, but in the beginning, they started saying it's the elderly. It's actually the elderly. You don't want to make your grandmother sick. You don't want to go. So let's protect the elderly, because they were the ones who were unfortunately passing. But they weren't mentioning the flu, right. The actual flu. They weren't mentioning lung disease. They weren't mentioning heart attacks. They weren't mentioning what people were dying from. It's only if they tested. They say they test. And they didn't. There isn't. According to this Andrew Kaufman, and he doesn't just use his own thing. Let me see. I'm going to put. What I'll do is I'll put the link in the Telegram of the YouTube in my Telegram based Amy. Is it real based Amy? Sorry, is that what it is, Phil?
Yeah,
I thought it was
yeah,
based
real,
Amy, but
real based Amy.
it's real based Amy. Okay, sorry. I'll put the link to that Andrew Kaufman lecture because he's a doctor. He was an MD and he a psychologist, but also microbiology, everything. And he did a very thorough study. And it all makes sense. It all makes sense with how they're saying that you might have already had it. Well, and didn't even know it. Well, wait a minute. This is either the plague and it's deadly if you get it. That's why we have to 6 feet distancing, right? Or how many times have they said you won't even know minor symptoms? You know, you don't need hospital treatment. I mean, they just contradict themselves, but they mix the truth in with the fear because they have to do their agenda. So I actually think that they've been trying to create this deadly virus by using the chimera is that genetically modified is what they've tried to do, is create a genetically modified disease, which means when they say, remember they said we don't have an immunity, it's novel, it's a novel disease. So if it, again, going by what they say.
Before the 19th is what people are missing.
Huh?
And I'd just like to throw in what
it's the novel 19. That means there's been 18 versions before that, and we didn't die from those.
Which I thought it was 19 because of the China. I thought it was 2019. That's why I thought they gave it a 19 was because of the year that the Wuhan came out. But
my understanding.
And I'd just like to throw in what Brick said the other night, which was flu. What was it she said? Flu no more, or the flu is gone, or what was it she said? Flu no more, or something. And everybody that was on their smarts picked up on that. She was literally saying that flu is not anymore.
That's not true.
I saw that.
In fact, did you see that? I don't know if you saw the chart that they did. Is that the flu? In fact, go by their numbers from, I think it was 2014. The stats that they had from when they were tracking the flu, regular whatever flu, and I'm trying to think of the lung problems or whatever it was that they said. Pneumonia.
The chart that they actually put up the other day had influenza. It didn't have COVID-19.
No, and the actual numbers for the mortality rate has dropped. It dropped dramatically this year. So by their numbers, we should not be locked down. But of course, the agenda is the propaganda has worked a treat. I confess, they've done. It doesn't matter when they drop the facts in with the fake, with the fear. People have gone for the first thing they've been told, and they will not hear anything else. They just are cognitively dissonant to
the
facts.
Here is great evidence of your theory, Amy, is that Whitmer, why would you block people from buying things at Walmart if it wasn't about hurting the economy? Why can't you buy seeds? Why can't you buy charcoal?
And upholding abortion, remember that is, what did she say? She said abortion is
essential.
Essential. That's right.
But
lottery tickets and alcohol.
Yeah, you could buy,
but not food.
But
not potential food. You could be.
But you can't buy a can of paint and paint your house on the inside when you're locked down, right? So
I'm telling you what, she just had a list of things and thought, okay, I'm going to cross that one off.
That hurts the economy because people aren't buying anything but what she says you can buy, right?
The plan is to wreck the economy. That's what their desire. That is the plan, is to wreck the economy completely, which isn't going to work because President Trump is doing everything to prevent that from happening. So the thing is, he knew what they were going to do. The Patriots, the Q, the whole lot, the good guys, the white knights, the saviors, whatever you want to call them, they have been fully aware of the one world order globalist agenda since it's been in motion. And they have got the alternative. They had the counterpunch quietly ready to contradict it, to counter it, basically, and cancel their plan. However, because we're still on the globalist plan, which is to wreck the economy so that the people become dependent on the government. Right? That's the whole thing. And get
hard
used
to
to
too lippy if they've got your livelihood held in the palm of their hand.
Right. And they can dictate to you if they've made you broke and they say, look, we can help you, but you have to do this first. They have to have that stupid vaccine, which will identify you. All these blooming tracking things. I mean, it's just so sinister, but we're thankfully.
And the best one they've got, the most successful tracking system they've got, we all have. It's called a phone.
Yeah.
An electronic leash. That's what it really.
Everything that they've done. Sorry, Neil, go ahead.
I was going to say, you even had the LA governor last week or the week before state with regards to spying on people that were breaking the rules. He actually made this statement of snitches get rewards. And I was horrified. I was absolutely horrified when I heard that. I was like, is this how far they're taking it now? Yeah. That snitches get rewards. And to make that statement, people should be very worried as to what their governors are going to do to turn people against each other and push this absolute agenda to control people.
But this is the whole thing, is that they've done it. The psychological weapon is fear. And it's all been done. It's a Trojan horse. Is what they did. This is all for our benefit. It's all to look out for your neighbor. It's for your good. And people
do it for the people that you love.
Yes, and people are psychological. They bought it. They think, oh God, how dare that's so selfish of them to go out twice. I'm going to report them. It's an incredible exercise in psycho warfare. And I have to say, I confess, I'm totally horrified and astonished with how easy it's been. From what I see so far. And the thing is that the longer the time goes, the more power they get, and they have got the upper hand. But all of this is long. But we know the truth. We know that the truth is going to out, and as soon as everybody finds out that they've been had big time by the biggest lie known to man that's ever been perpetrated on us, they're going to be mad as hell, but at the people in power. So
they picked, Amy, the number one thing they could pick: your health, and the health of your family, your grandma, your grandfather. They picked that one because they knew it would work. 100%.
It's the most powerful weapon is fear and health and guilt.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a perfect combination of and you see, it's really. I mean, there's good stories as well as bad, but I'm unfortunately witnessing the darker side because I see people if you're less than 6 feet from them, they start to back off or they look at you. I've determined today, and I suggest everybody try this just for fun. Make a point of wherever you go tomorrow, smiling at everybody you see and see what you get in return. See if you get a smile back.
I'm sorry. You're saying that to the wrong person, Amy, because
I know you.
Because you go talk to everybody. They got masks on or not. You can see their eyes crinkle, so you know they're smiling.
No, it's the English one. So in England, I mean, it's not quite so. I mean, obviously in the South, in America, in the South, it's a natural tendency to smile. I mean, I think it goes with the sunny weather or something.
We're a bunch of miserable sods over here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Just to say again,
even
just
if we are, we just in the South we're taught to dress everything up. So if we are sour on the inside, honey, we've learned to put lipstick on that pig. So
okay, well, this is with exception to the Southern America, rather, not South America, with exceptions to warm climates. Let's go with the Anglophile English. Just go out and smile at somebody and see what you get back. Because I tried that today. And I did actually manage to get a couple of smiles back. One person looked at me as if I was a little bit loopy, and of course, the more people I see wearing masks in fresh air, I actually feel sorry for them. Quite honestly, I really do, because I think.
Now I gotta admit, I went to the grocery store today. I had to wear one when I went in. They won't let you in. They block it off. They got carts there. And they got a guy standing there. If you won't, so I had a thing that I use for running. I live in the Northeast, and when it gets to be, in summertime, if we get to 80, we're lucky. So it's when I run, it's like 30 degrees outside most of the time. So I have a thing that I wear over my face when I run. Otherwise, your face will look like a popsicle.
Freeze off.
Yeah. So I
So
wore
what
that
happened?
when I went in. The second I got out of there, I took it right off. It's so ridiculous. They would not let me in.
Well, just say
Absolutely.
you suffer from claustrophobia. I'd say I suffer from claustrophobia, and I'm allergic to that crap that you're trying to put on my hand.
Well,
So sorry. You
I
know,
went to the store the other day, and you know me, I'm just prancing in and minding my own business, and probably I've got my headphones on. I'm usually doing 15 different things, and I just prance in. And I thought, well, you know, there's a lot of people that are wearing masks. That's pretty good for them. I don't. I won't. Not unless they make me. They got to catch me first. And I'm not wearing those bullshit gloves either that do more harm than good. And I'm just traipsing through the store and everything. And on my way out, I thought, there's a lady without a mask. And I noticed one other gentleman, but everybody else had masks on. When I'm leaving the store, I see the sign that says, please wear masks in our store. I just go blindly past it, you know, didn't even see it. I had my head in the clouds. But I wouldn't have done it anyway unless they had somebody there enforcing the rules.
They did here. The governor of New York said it was advised under executive order to wear one, but our county executive decided he was going to take it upon himself to force everybody to wear one. So, I mean, I got to get groceries. I have a kid, got to feed my kid. So I'm standing there and the guy goes, you got to put it on. Otherwise I can't let you in.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like,
at least you haven't got police threatening to search your shopping trolleys or shopping carts over there. We had our police over here announcing that they would even go as far as to search shopping trolleys and shopping carts over here to make sure you were only buying essential products. Well, that didn't go down too well, and they ended up having to retract it. But I tell you what, if people hadn't kicked up a fuss on social media, then they would have very much searched shopping trolleys over here to make sure you were buying essential products.
Oh, see, I mean, can we believe we're having this conversation? I mean, we have to take ourselves back in a time warp back to 3 months ago when everybody was just going about their business, meeting up at clubs and pubs and cafes and going to baseball games or football games or whatever. Oh my God. I mean, it's like now you're talking about, oh, if I got permission to go out. I hate to say, I hear a helicopter and I'm thinking, oh God. Oh, dump the phone. Because I think they're tracking me.
Did y'all read the article yesterday about the drone that they're flying?
Yeah.
Somewhere
The Chinese drones.
Yeah. Honey, you know what happened to the last drone that hovered over my backyard? I went and got my BB gun. If I had my pellet gun where I could use it in city limits, I'd be threatening with that. But I figure the airspace over my house that I work my butt off to help pay for is mine. And if you come hang in my backyard, you're going to get shot. Woody, just talk to Woody and see what kind of treatment. I even got him on my neighbor's house yesterday.
Now we talked a lot about what's going on in the U.S. and Neil just touched on what's going on in the U.K. Do you guys have any things going on in the UK like we have going on with drones flying around and parks being filled in with sand, skate parks, police arresting people at random for almost nothing, like that woman in the park?
We have the police definitely have. I've never seen so many police as I have since we had a lockdown. I mean, I never see a police car for a couple of years. I'd be lucky to see one. Now they're all over the place. I mean, the police are just. I was on the seafront the other day, and they were doing their patrol. They just, of course, have been given the power. They've been the law was passed in a week. On the 19th of March, the government released a thing on the website to say that the COVID-19 no longer considered a high whatever the BS they use for the whatever expression they want to say, a high consequence of infectious disease or something. They said it's no longer that, it's no longer highly infectious. And on the same day, they introduced a bill, which is all the draconian laws, which means we can only go out. There's 4 excuses to be able to be out of your house. Go shopping once a day, exercise once a day again, obviously hospital and work if people have got an essential job. And the police, it has, I mean, they were bad. I mean, some of you may have seen on the YouTube some of my adventures in London with the police.
I've been horrified, Amy. I've been horrified. It made me so sick.
Well, they're now all at it.
So many times.
Well, I'll give you two case points that shocked me. There was number one. There was a couple here in the UK out walking their dog. Right, there was a drone following them, a police drone following these couple in the park. The couple looked up and like, what the hell's going on here? And it was a police drone following them because they were out of their houses. Case point number two, there was a young lady that was sat in a park on her own, following the social distancing rules. She was sitting there watching a sunset go down with I think she had like a bottle of drink or something with her. And she was sitting, police come up to her, hassle her for 10, 15 minutes, telling her to go home. Then she's like, well, I'm going to stay here. I want to see the sun go down with social distancing. They got 2 police vans to turn up and harass her for sitting on her own in a park. Now, what's actually happened is the government are putting these rules out in the UK that it's advised. The police are then taking it upon themselves to say, right, well, we're just going to make sure it's law and that it's being done. So then we're seeing people in parks being arrested, seeing people followed with drones and things like that. So, the government's saying advised, but the police are taking it as, right, well, we're just going to go and throw our weight about and, arrest people for sitting in parks.
Now, I did see video of a man who had his door kicked in by about 6 police officers. Do you have any updates from that? I mean, they just kicked his door in, went into his home. He was by himself based on a tip, right?
Yeah, it was a tip. Apparently he was having a party, according to the person who called the police, and of course he wasn't. So they broke the door in and pissed him off. Found out that obviously there was nobody else in there other than him, and left. But they did it on the. They claimed it was a disturbance had been reported. So no, it's disgusting.
They weren't even wearing masks or anything when they kicked the door in. They weren't wearing any mask or anything. And the guy's standing going, hang on a minute, get the hell out. You've just kicked my door in and you're standing there touching my walls and everything. You're not even wearing masks or gloves,
So there were no repercussions for the police.
Oh, there won't be. No, honestly, they've got carte blanche. There's no trust issues. Things are bad. Things were bad before. Now they have permission. They're going to be defended. They know that they have the power to do really whatever they want. There's nobody to challenge them. So it's I mean, it was
churches
bad before.
Open? Are they open?
They're not doing that for them for the bacon bit. So they're exceptions. They won't challenge them. They're too scared.
So the mosques are open.
Are still operating?
Yeah. Mosques are open.
The mosques are still. What about the churches?
No,
I think churches are closed.
No. Yeah, churches are closed.
They're getting the same even-handed treatment that they're getting here in the United States. The preferential treatment by the left-wing lib nuts and
it's all to do with the control.
All of their minions.
It's the divide and conquer, divide and whatever. The whole thing of making sure that there's the special ones who get special treatment, and just to upset the I say, look, this is all part of this evil agenda. They are carrying it through, come hell or high water, and they are going to push it to the point. Okay, this is if I didn't believe that what was going to happen is going to happen, which is the draining of the swamp, then this would not end. This what we're doing now is the new normal, right? The whole new normal. The people don't realize that the 6 feet thing is nothing to do with the virus jumping 6 feet. It's purely for ease of tracking people. If you've got 6 feet of space between everybody, then it's obviously much easier to see who's who. But that's neither here nor there. And obviously the whole thing is to keep the fear going, and then when the vaccine, which incredibly, I mean, suddenly all we ever heard was it was going to be at least a year before anything would be produced. Well, now they're doing trials in this country. They've suddenly got a vaccine of some description that they're actually doing trials on people. So, and everybody's saying, well, I'm not going to get it, but that's not going to be a choice. Because they're going to crash the economy, by the time this fake vaccine thing is ready, you will have to. Otherwise, your debit card, because there's no cash, right? I don't know in the States, but cash is being frowned on. They're not, most places don't like to handle cash anymore. So they will have control of your bank, your ability to spend money.
Mm-hmm.
You won't have a choice. It will be you either get this vaccine or you don't get to do anything. You don't get, that's it. And the whole thing with Bill Gates was to reduce the population. It's all a very sinister thing. However, well before that happens, I'm expecting the hammer to drop. And President, they've got to start it. I don't know about you. When do you think it's going to happen?
I think when the FDA comes out and endorses hydrochloroquine, that or more of the data comes out about the truth about how this has already swept through America, because I've shared with y'all, my husband and my daughter were sick in November and December. David got it twice. I have known the man for almost 30 years, and he has missed work. I can think on probably a couple of fingers. He missed a whole freaking week of work. He was so sick, guys. And I just really firmly believe that they've both had it. Also, I think that I've either had it and didn't realize it, or I'm a person that what do they call it? When you don't show symptoms, but you have an
asymptomatic.
Thank you. Couldn't get that out. Easy for you to say. But I really think that I have been one of those people, and it may be because I've been out in the public so much. I don't really know. But I believe that we've already had. I think if they were able to test for antibodies, that they would find that it's been much more prevalent in America than what we know.
But don't forget,
that I'll be damned if I'll ever take a COVID test or a vaccine. Isn't going to happen. I'm not going to give them any weapons on me or let them plant anything in me. Nor will I ever participate in any vaccine. They can kiss my grits.
Amy touched on something and UKNeil watches Boogie Bumper. I know that. Amy touched on something about the money. They are definitely pushing getting rid of money and just using cards to tap.
They can track you.
Yeah.
It's the Chinese social, whatever that is, the Chinese system of reward. It's
because
green,
if you go up to the counter and you have, like, you go to the airport and you have, like Boogie Bumper says.
But why are you farming for coins when you have a heavy bag?
So, you have heavy bags. You can't fumble for coins. Just tap your card on the thing. You don't need the, cash. You don't need money anymore. In some places in China, you can't buy food without with money anymore. Not allowed.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what they're trying to do.
The whole point of control.
The smaller bills and some of the very, very larger bills, because they're trying to discourage people from carrying it.
Yep. This is the whole point. It's going to get used to people using electronics, and then they can control. I mean, this is the whole thing. The dark plan is to have total control and be able to say, well, if you haven't done, you get the rewards or not. If you do what they say, what they want, whatever it is, then your card is green lighted, so you will be able to purchase what you want or go where you want. But this is the Chinese system. There's a system. I can't remember what it's called, but it's a punishment and reward. And if you
think about it, it's like training an animal.
Yep.
Well, and if you're totally reliant on the electronics, there's no cash, you have to use a card, then they're going to say, right, well, you do this and we'll give you that. And if you don't do it, then you don't go. And that's the whole point of this, getting people used. It's this training of the little minions, the human ants.
Well, every time they do something right, give them a treat, just like training a dog or a husband. Yeah. They do something right, you give them a treat. See, did you ever see that movie back in the day with Sandra Dee and Bobby Darin? And Sandra Dee had that real gorgeous a classy French mama, and she comes flying into town when they get married, and she says, "Oh, the key to having a happy marriage is how you train your husband." And she gives her daughter uh, a book on how to train a dog. And so the whole movie is about every time she's trying to train her husband, Bobby Darin, she sees him with a dog body in his face, in the Bobby Darin face. And it's a very cute movie, but it's true. The old adage, you can draw more flies with honey than vinegar, is true. So, that's what they're trying to do with the rewards and with, the convenience factors and all of that stuff.
And they're getting used to people.
I like is that there's so many questioning it more now, where we were blind to it before.
We need to have a lot more people questioning it, and in this country anyway. I don't know. I mean, there are plans, hopefully, from what I see, but to protest. I mean, it's gonna. I mean, trust me. The world is. This is what is so surprising to me, is that our world has changed. As it's never the same, but yet you've got the people still talking minutiae about who says what and who believes in who and who supports what. It's like, wait a minute, guys, in case you hadn't noticed, we're locked in our houses. Can we just sort of forget let's focus on the big picture instead of the little, things have changed a little bit, in case you hadn't noticed, from the 23rd of March. Hello.
Yeah.
And as I said, they passed the law.
To give in to the new normal narrative. I hate those words. You say them and I automatically start gritting my teeth. I refuse. This is not going to be my new normal. I refuse.
No, I'm not. I know, I'm not.
I know when you are not, but I'm saying the left, they're trying to condition us with those
yes, that's the whole point. They're
and
doing it. It's all training.
I'm not giving in. I'm not giving up. And y'all shouldn't either.
Well, we're not, but there's unfortunately the people around me. They were all clapping like seals tonight at 8:00. Oh, the NHS, clapping to the blooming sky about these people who are doing their next dance routine on TikTok, how to choreograph. They're dancing up into the operating theatre that has no operations going because guess what? I mean, it's just.
Yep. We have that too. So, Neil, what do you think about the money thing, Neil? I think you were going to jump in there.
I was going to say, what's everybody's opinion on the global economy reset? Because I think that is what we are heading for.
Gold standard.
If you look, there's a few things that lead to this. Number one, the fact that the Treasury now pretty much, runs the Fed. Trump walks into the Fed now and they say, "Good morning, boss." Plus the fact that the amount of debt being built up over this pandemic, the USA, you've got the Trump checks going out for $1,200, and here over here you've got our plan over here where people are getting paid 80% of their wages, and worldwide debts are building up because business isn't running, economies are falling. So what's the plan here? Are they heading for a global economy reset?
Yes.
Adding to that, last week in my research, it's found that in African countries, debts started being cleared in African countries. The IMF have started clearing debts in African countries. Why would they be clearing debts? Now, the thing is that Africa's not being hit, so barely hit by COVID-19, which is another interesting point for another chat. Yeah. But all of a sudden, this debt's being built up. It's got to go somewhere. So what are they going to do? Boom, global economy reset. USA goes digital gold, digital pound, and I think that's looking what we're heading for.
Crypto, baby.
Crypto. Crypto's if people, let me give you some advice to everybody out there. If you ain't signed up for crypto, get signed up for crypto, because this is where it's going to head, and you want to be ready for it.
And this is, by the way, just to do with symbolism, this is a £20 note, and do you see what this little?
You have to push it closer, Amy. Nobody can see it, I don't think.
Hang on. Oh, hold on. Sorry. Where is it?
What Amy's actually showing you is the new £20 note has what looks like a 5G tower on it.
And
on the new £20 note, it's like a 5G tower on it. If you look at it very, very closely, if you get a chance.
I'll show you. Let me see. Oh no, you can't see it because my green screen. But can you see the? Oh no, you
the
can't
purple
see that
dot, right?
There's holes in the middle, but I know you don't.
Above my finger, there's a COVID-19. There's a COVID right there. No, that's the virus.
Oh dear God.
Oh no. Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
Wow.
And there's, I mean, in the hologram you can't see, but there's a tower, and there's sort of rays out there, and it looks like the wall. Actually, it looks like Trump's wall is there with the bricks, and then the top. That's really weird. In this hologram, I'm gonna have to take a picture of it and put it out there, because it really does look like the wall. You know, the top of the wall has got the special no grip on it. Yeah, it looks
those
like
are to basically fry you if you do make it up there. They're built to, that top piece is the anti-climb feature, and it will, you know, in the 115, 120 degrees.
Oh, degrees, yeah.
You can
like
imagine how hot that thing gets. It's going to fry you.
Fry, baby.
That's
That's
right.
Get up there anyway.
It's like a solar electrocution.
In UK, you guys are back on the pound now. You're not using euros anymore, right?
Oh no, we've always we never went to the euro.
Okay,
we never changed. That's what made us
they
able
tried
to,
it. They tried it years ago.
Back in the 90s.
The referendum, wasn't it, Amy? And then they went against the euro, and we stayed with the pound.
Okay.
Yeah, no, they never. The Maastricht Treaty, I think it was when it was the early 90s when they tried to do the reset with the money and get everybody to switch to the euro, and thankfully we did. I say that's one reason why we were only able to do Brexit, because we had our own money. Everybody else is stuck in the euro, so they're trapped, financially speaking. So anyway, this is all. It's all. Look, I've got to be positive. I mean, it's all just. It's way to see what I'm seeing. I sense that we are imminently at the point of the arrest, even though we've been talking about it forever. And I think that the reveal is going to come up. And that's why I know President Trump hasn't changed, right? And he said it's going to go away. It is going to go away. And why? Because the truth is going to come out. And the exposure of the connections of all of them with the money and the vaccines and the dastardly, all of that is going to, it's going to come out. It is definitely going to be revealed, and everybody's going to realize they've been had. And so everybody's going to forget about it. Oh, thank God for that. And they'll just carry on, go back. You know, that's what's going to happen. So it is going to happen sooner rather than later. And definitely, well, by the 4th of July at the latest. I mean, I'm sure it's going to happen well before that, because it has to. I mean, we're at a point now of...
Otherwise, you're going to see me running down the street naked, barking at people. I can't take it anymore. Not that I don't know what to say about that one. I'm just saying, I'm just going to lose my mind. I cannot sit on my thumbs with my thumbs up my butt, watching my business of 21 years go down the toilet.
No, and you're one of many people. So many people are like you, and it's horrific. It really is, and I can't see.
Texans aren't going to take it. We are ready to go back, and Abbott better be watching his P's and Q's, because he's going to.
It's not about him, though, is it?
You are skating on thin ice, buddy. So that means you are jumping up and down on my last nerve, and I am going to do something about it pretty soon if you don't quit. So, you know, I'm just watching him. I have to get up and drive to Austin to go park in front of the mansion and walk with my little sign by myself. I will do it. Do not dare me, people. I'm just saying. Anyway,
I believe you. I believe you. I believe you.
You know, I would. And I'd be going, Phil,
you're scaring me from here, and you're like 6,000 miles away, and I'm like, oh my God, she means it. Could you get over here and get people?
I did want to take one little moment, a little departure from the topic at hand, but I realized a while ago that I turned and blew a kiss, and it looked like I was blowing one to Yankee, and I want to make sure he did not get a big hit. I was blowing he's sitting right over here.
I missed that. Yeah.
I heard Phil's head that I was blowing a kiss his way.
She's just lying.
Well, listen,
that was to me.
I'm going to have to go in a bit, Phil, I'm afraid. Sorry, but I just want to say, thank you for having me on. Thank you for the discussion. It's been very interesting indeed. It's really good to get. It's just so good to talk, to chat about it, because nobody wants to talk here. Nobody on the street. Nobody wants to discuss. It's a closed topic. So I just. You know, if I could ask people if you could.
Safe to, I don't think. I don't think it's just that they don't have anything to say. I don't think they feel safe to. You don't ever know who you're talking to these days, unfortunately.
Oh, no, we don't have that fear. They're just brainwashed.
We
We're
will,
just
we will
brainwashed.
close this scope up, but only with the understanding that you promise to come back, or else we won't let you go this time.
Ruh-roh. God, has she got my bank account details or something? Make me have to do is that. Okay, I'll have the injection. Just let me go. Whatever you say, Denise. I'll do it.
You'll do it. You'll do it. See, we've got her on tape. She's going to come back.
I will come back, and thank you for having me, Phil. Thank you so much.
Don't go yet, though. Real
Okay.
quick. How did you and Neil hook up? Number one, Neil's a great guy. Love him. Awesome. He comes on Saturday nights with us. It's very late, though. I don't know how he does it. But how did you guys hook up? And then tell the audience where they can find you on DLive and YouTube or wherever else you are.
I'll let Neil step in on that one.
Well, I think with Amy, I picked up on her activities because, I've been very close to politics and pretty anti-government pretty much most of my life. And then I came across some videos that Amy had on YouTube and just got to know Amy's work through that. And, in the UK, there's not many people with a backbone that Amy has, and having been out watching Amy doing her work, I've hung around with some tough people during my life, but when you stand there and you watch Amy going up to a police officer going, "Excuse me, mate, let me check your boots and make sure you're dressed properly," I'm like, wow, that's something else. I've never even seen that in any soccer match or whatever, So, yeah, I think I just got a lot of respect to Amy because she will stand there and say what needs to be said, whereas other people will be like, "Oh, I can't really say that." Amy will say it how it is. And I think if the UK had half the backbone that Amy has in what she does in standing up for people's free speech and freedom, we probably wouldn't be in half the crap that we're in now. So, yeah, it was just through Amy's activities, having balls of steel, that, you grow to like her work and what she does,
My God, I didn't pay him a penny for that either. That was not prearranged, everybody. Okay, Neil, I'll catch you later, all right, with that one?
That's going to cost
Honestly,
you a
no,
Ninja Guinea on DLive right there.
I remember actually we met up in London and Neil, I didn't realize it was because I was just another thing for me around the House of Westminster. That was my patch, was just to go around and say hello, Brexit here, hello. Yeah, those were the days, weren't they, Neil? That was fun. But so we are actually a small, very, very small, unfortunately, small group of people that are awake, I suppose, and so you definitely likely to bump into people who are, let's say, proactive here. Obviously, America is a massive place, so it's harder to sort of meet people.
It does not matter where you are in this world. It's always so comforting because we have been just inundated over the years to think that we are the minority. And Amy, I'm hopeful that even over there that you're really not. So, all of us patriots got to stick together. As they say, birds of a feather got to flock together. And I'm going to tell you the same thing that I told my husband all those years ago when I went out on my first date with him. I looked him squarely in the eye and I asked him, number one, if he believes in corporal punishment, in death penalty. Are you doing?
I just see that creeping up on the screen now. I'm like, what the hell?
What did you write on our beloved POTUS's face?
I didn't see that.
Oh, somebody wrote Hillary for prison, drain the swamp.
Oh, okay. We'll go for that. Here he comes looking up that.
I will be the greatest president that God ever created.
Donald.
Oh, and all my toys are gone. I have one.
So why did you say to your husband? I mean, now I need to know what you said. I mean, and he's still with you. So
I asked him if he believed in the death penalty, because if he didn't, I wasn't going to date him anymore. And then I told him he could run, but he couldn't hide.
Oh,
30 years. It's been 30 years. And so he for our anniversary, he bought me the perfect husband.
Poor guy. So, Amy, where can everybody find you? Give us everything for our audience.
Oh, thank you, Phil. Well, I come on every night. I do my best to come on YouTube at 8 o'clock and Facebook Live, YouTube Live. And then and it's based Amy is the tag to search, is based Amy. I've also got my D Live, which is it real based Amy? No, that's the Telegram. Sorry, based Amy on D Live, and I do that at 9:00 every night. And I also have Telegram, which is real based Amy, and I also have a website, basedamy.com, where I have got some videos and documents and a shop with a few little bits and pieces that sort of if people would like to purchase. And no, I really so I'm pretty much on D Live is my new favorite platform, I have to say, because I feel like I can speak more freely on D Live because we're still I don't feel so much as we're being censored. So
right.
I'm trying to move over, and plus with all the lemons, which is a great way of the tips, if you like.
Now,
so
what time is that? 9:00 is your time. What time is that in the U.S.?
That's 4:00
Okay.
Eastern Standard Time. So it's 8:00 on YouTube, which is 4:00, 3:00, 3:00 Eastern Standard on YouTube and Facebook, and 5:00 Eastern Standard Time on D Live, and also on Sundays I'm on with Ria Bow on WBN 324 at 1:00 in the afternoon here, which is that's a bit early, 7:00 Eastern Standard. No, sorry, 8. I'm using my finger. I'm going 1, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8.
Real quick, you've
I have
got
a hard enough time keeping up with the 4 time zones that we're 3 time zones we've got over here.
So if you just go to Eastern Standard, you everybody obviously in the States, because there's several time zones. Is it? There's 4. Is it?
3.
You've got Eastern, Central, Mountain, and Pacific.
Pacific. Oh, I forgot about
all
that.
I know is that from east to west is a 3-hour time difference. So the West Coast is 8 hours behind us. So Eastern Standard, go from that. And
You've got to.
Thank you so much.
You've got to do one thing. You've got to invite Candace D to your Telegram room. Sits with chickens.
Oh, I think she was. I thought she was telling me. I didn't get an invite either.
To where?
At your Telegram room at Real Based Amy.
Okay, no problem. I'll do that. I thought with the Based Amy, I've got the Based Amy's Bacon Army or something. That one is an open one where people can message back and forth. You can do messages. Whereas with Telegram, it's one where you have just a broadcast one, which is one way, which is my Real Based Amy, and then I've got Based Amy's Bacon Army, which is where people can post. So I didn't think I had to make an invitation for the at Real Based Amy, but I'll take a look. I'll see what that is.
Candace and I just both of us, dog, and she is saying, "Call me, Amy," in all caps. So I think that means she's serious.
Okay, I'll call you Candace. Listen, Candace is from the Periscope days. I mean, honestly, as much as I found it frustrating. There's a special place in my heart for Periscope, only because it was my sort of Hyde Park, the sort of my first ever viral video of the challenging the prayer at Hyde Park Corner, and also the book burning, the Hillary Clinton, when I did the Periscope story time. So I do love it. I did love it, but so not so much.
I think we were all there, Doc, myself, and Candace, Sits with Chickens, right?
Yeah.
Wow, those are the days, guys. Those are the days when we had freedom. We had freedom to speak, and we had freedom to move. We had freedom to travel. You know, now we're all locked in our houses. I mean, wow, just who'd have thunk it? How times change. Anyway, I just want to say thank you so much, Phil and Denise, for hosting and letting me on and let me do my chit chat. Oh, and let me just show you. We do have the passport has. The European Union has been removed from the British passport.
Yay!
So that is official. It has the European Union's been removed. My only thing is, I'm sure he said it was going to be blue. Boris, I'm sure he promised it was going to be a blue one, but hey, at least we got my name back. So say thank you and appreciate your invitation and your support, everybody. Thank you so much. And I'm just going to sign off if that's okay. Or are you going to end this now? Sorry, Phil.
Uh,
It's your show.
No, we're going to go through with Neil first, but if you have to leave, you're more than welcome to.
Oh, no, I'll wait for Neil. That'd be
Neil.
rude of me to do that.
We love Neil too. We love Amy. We love
He's
Neil.
terrific.
You guys both have to come back. I think everybody loved it. Great discussion. This was really a really good discussion. I liked listening to it and contributing to it. And you guys were great. So, Neil, tell us about you and where we can find you.
You basically search anywhere UK, just at UKNeil, Twitter. Predominantly I'm on DLive, but I go out on Twitch and YouTube now. It's no longer Periscope. Again, great days on Periscope from when I first sat there on my doorstep, just talking to the world. But we'll always love the Periscope crew. But I think Periscope's not the app to help out broadcasters and such. So you'll get me on DLive, Twitch, or YouTube at UKNeil. Same with Twitter. That's basically get me there. Shows I do at the moment during the lockdown, I'm doing Great Awakening, show The Great Awakening on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. That's 9 p.m. UK time. So that would be, let's just go 4 p.m. Eastern. I'm not going to go for the other 20 time zones, but Eastern time, 4 p.m., 9 p.m. UK time. Just to say to everybody out there, listen, verify everything you get told. Anything, everything, whatever you're told, and verify it yourself. Lots of people are telling the truth, but at least if you verify it yourself, you know what's truth and what's being told that's not truthful. Big shout out to the Speakeasy crew. I see Iceman in there, Grandma. Didn't see Kim in there, but great guys. Love coming on to the Speakeasy show. Great little crew there that, I love sitting there for hours and then chatting to everybody. Awesome guys. Great to hang out with Phil and Doc in the chat, in the show there. Great guys as well. Make sure you're supporting these guys winning TV. Same with Based Amy. Make sure you're supporting Based Amy and what she does. And to any of the broadcasters that we all hang out with out there, because some people, I don't think people realise how much technical work goes into a show, sitting there with OBS, panicking when things go down and things don't go right, and videos free. It takes some doing. So shout out to all the broadcasters we all hang out with out there, because they're doing a great job in bringing the truth to you and humour when it comes to Alexa Boogie. But great work from everybody. Just stand together and verify everything you do. The truth comes out. We will win. The Great Awakening is happening. Just have a bit of patience.
And where we go, all right.
I'm going to ask you both one more favor. Send me an advert so I can play it in the advert role.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool. I'll get Neil to help me with that one. I'll do that. Thank you so much.
Even if it's 30
Appreciate
seconds, 30 seconds to a minute, I'll add it into the role.
Thank you very much, Phil. Appreciate that. Fantastic. Brilliant. Yeah, we got to stick together, guys. We are the resistance, the true resistance, the actual resistance. That's
right.
what it feels like.
Remember, even though sometimes it feels like the numbers are small, worldwide, we're massive. And we're as massive as our indomitable spirit. Because I've watched Donald Trump for years, wanted him to run for president way before he ever decided he was going to. Love the man, but I will tell you, it isn't, though he is brilliant, though he is smarter than what people realize, he's talented and all those things. The thing that makes him the most successful is that he never takes no for an answer. He just finds another way to get it done. He's sitting there nodding the whole time while he's figuring out a way around you. He's going to dig under you, go over you, go around you. He is going to get your attention off so he can run the other way. He's going to find a way. So we have to be just as resilient as our leader. We've got to find a way, no matter what the circumstance, no matter what they throw at us. We just have to find a way around them. I don't care if we have to mow over them, like
okay,
like dig under them, go around them. I don't care. We're going to stay together.
And don't forget to send me.
Let me say something. I think Doc and Based Amy should do a show together.
Yeah, you're not kidding.
You two should do a show together, man. That would be something else.
Everything got to plot together. Poor
Doc
Amy.
Martin and Based Amy there, a show together. My God. Don't forget to send me your.
That's so true.
Don't forget to send me your adverts. I have OCD, and I will be coming after you for those adverts.
Okay. You have to keep bugging me. But remember, he said, never give up, never give in, never, ever, ever surrender. That's what he says at his when he does his speeches, when he talks to the students at when that has been happening. Yeah, he absolutely says that is, and he means it, and he's, oh my God, it's inspirational. It's been so long. I don't know about you guys, but it's been so long since we've had a leader, a true patriotic
inspirational leader.
Unbelievable, and it is an honor actually to witness and to be able to enjoy his power, his strength, his compassion, and his success. I mean, and his keeping his promises. I mean, all of it is just amazing. The only sad bit is the blimmin' fake stream, lame stream media, which makes it really sour. But hey,
but
we're
you know
doing
what?
it.
In his book, that's only in our books. I think in his books, I think he enjoys vanquishing them. So you know what? If he gets his jollies off that way, I don't care. It shows his prowess. It shows his intelligence. It shows all the wonderful things about him, that he's patient. He'll wait for the kill. He doesn't have to have immediate gratification. While all these buffoons are sitting there lamenting about how stupid he is, he's the one with the last laugh. And I'm going to do something. I aim to be a lot like him. I'm not going to give up. And in fact, I know y'all will be shocked by this, but you know, my sister and I have had our business for 21 years. And in the insurance circles, they call us the insurance sisters, or the Aflac sisters, what it started out with. But then, you know, we went into other kinds of insurance. So we became the insurance sisters. And most people assume that we're like two heads on one body, because you usually see the one, you always see the other behind, and we look alike, and we talk alike, and all that kind of thing. But
there's two of you.
What'd you say?
Nothing.
I
said, how wonderful.
I'm gonna ignore that one.
Oh, bloody hell!
But people think we're two heads on one body all the time, and you know, the thing about it is, they nicknamed us Consistence and Persistence, and I'll give you one guess which one I am. I've never been consistent a day of my life, but I am.
I got it. Persistent.
The youngest one in the family, I'm persistent. That's the only way I could get anybody to notice me, is to be
Hey,
persistent.
Neil, Amy's a warrior, but she can't stay up 24 hours on a show with Doc Martin.
Don't throw the gauntlet down there, you know what I mean? Because you'd be surprised.
People, I'm just saying.
Listen,
all right,
it's
well,
been-
we
it's
better
been-
sign off before she charges
Yes.
charging us rent. I'm saying.
Well, thank you
I know,
very much, guys.
Thank you, Phil. Thank
We
you, Doc.
did
Thanks for having us on, guys.
Thanks, Neil.
And don't
Been
you
great.
ever forget that we're two of your biggest fans in the United
Yes.
States.
Oh.
Love y'all.
Love you guys, really. And thank you I haven't been able to see the chat, but to anybody in the chat, thank you so much. And got to support. We all need support. All of us who are trying to keep the word out, get the truth out, and have some positivity as well. Because trust me, the negative is just overwhelming. It really is.
Those
It's
negative things would love to control us.
incredible.
But
So-
we're not going to let them. We're just not. We're going to refuse. So birds of a feather got to flock together. So come back and see us on Saturday night with MAGA Promises Kept at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and the Speakeasy at 9.
Amy Wallace.
you, I will.
Make sure you follow
Cheers,
her. And
Thanks a lot,
UK Neil.
guys.
Thanks a lot,
I gotta
guys.
say, based Amy out.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having us
Bye,
on.
guys. Y'all
Bye-bye.
can
Good
see
night.
me.
Bye, everybody in the chat. Stay safe.
Thank you for joining us. We'll leave the porch light on for you. Oh, lovely. That was so fun.
I just read in the chat, apparently Poland kicked the crap out of CNN.
We get to see that again. Cheers, guys.
Thanks, guys. This is Joy. I'd like to say goodbye. Good night. Thank you so much. It's fun.
Love you guys.
Thank you. Love you guys. Take care.
Okay. Bye. You still did over 2 hours.
Yeah, Gary was saying that Gary Vance was saying in the chat apparently Trump kicked the crap out of CNN tonight.
Oh, I can't wait to watch it. It's gonna be so fun. I love to see him whoop up on me. See him their ass on a platter backfield. I love it.
We had a pretty good crowd considering we went up against Trump.
But why are you farming for coins when you have a heavy bag?
Winning TV dropping the key. It's a Gaming Fest 2020, ladies and gentlemen. Hoping you can earn it. Well, I'll do my absolute best, but it's only going to be disappointing you. But I appreciate the vote of confidence. I'm only going to disappoint people, though. That's the sad reality. Now it's been built up so much.
It's Corona time. Hey, it's Corona time right now. It's Corona time.
Yeah, baby.
Check it out. I blinded us with science.
This has been a Film Race presentation.
Awesome. Well, I'm gonna shoot because my stomach's rumbling, and I want to catch up on. Is that a